Caeden Steele is quickly becoming a name and a number to recognize as he pilots the blue and black number 121 from Easton, California. In this Dave's Home Supply Getting Up to Speed interview, he talks about his 2023 season as he gets ready for Trophy Cup, some of the successes they've had, as well as overcoming last year's horrific tragedy at Hanford in which he was involved in a fire, but his comeback story, as well as how he got his start in racing, that and more after these messages. Dave's Home Supply specializes in cabinets, flooring, and countertops. Visit their website at daveshomesupply.com to look at products, services, financing, and even a free estimate. Are you looking for bookkeeping, payroll, or income tax services? Then check out the folks at For You Simple Bookkeeping. They are a licensed tax preparer throughout the entire United States. For more information, click on the link in the description. Well, joining me on the Dave's Home Supply Getting Up to Speed podcast is a young man that has been making the transition from 360 sprints to 410s and has done a rather nice job of doing that. He represents Easton, California, driving the 121 sprint car. Caeden Steele. Caeden, great to have you on the program.
Yeah, thank you.
2023 for you guys. You've put in looks like 29 starts, right around there for features between 360, 410, predominantly 360, 17 top 10s, 7 top 5s, 5 podiums, and a win to your credit at Ocean Speedway on August 18th.
Yeah.
And, I mean, overall, how would you say 2023's went for you in this race team?
I think it's been great, honestly. Wasn't sure what we were expecting going into the season because last season we probably ran about half the season, then I got burnt, so that kind of ended our season there. So this is my first full season of sprint car racing, and I'm happy with how we've done. We did great when we went up north a little bit to Skagit. We ran the 360 with the 410s there, and we ended up like 6th. It's probably like the highlight of the season, I guess you'd call it so far, and obviously the 2 wins were pretty cool too in 360.
Yeah, I was gonna say that that run, I was like, oh man, because I think that was the Saturday, the same day that Speed Week Northwest North started, and yeah. Obviously they had a 360 show the night before. You guys stuck around to run the 410, and I'm like, oh man, they must have got a 410 or something. And then when I bumped into you the next day at Elma, that was not the case. And I mean, what really kind of, was it just starting position, track position, or did the track really just fit your style or come to you?
The track definitely helped us because it was pretty slicked off, and you couldn't, even if you had a 410, you probably couldn't use all the power. And I think that definitely helped us with 360 and gives a fighting chance, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, and I mean, you're a foray in the Pacific Northwest. What did you think of racing sprint cars outside of the state of California? Was that a little bit of an eye-opener?
Yeah, it was cool. The only other times we've gone out of state were for micros. We went back east for the Tulsa Shootout a couple times, and we went up to Deming Speedway.
For the micros for the Clay Cup Nationals. But yeah, racing up there it's fun. It's definitely a lot cooler there than it is down here in Fresno. July, that time of the year, and that's the nice part of it. You could also make it into like a little vacation.
Nice, yeah. And then you guys stuck around for the following week, correct? For the Summer Nationals at Skagit after that 6th place effort.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Ocean Speedway obviously had some success there. There was a bit of a streak between you and Bud Caeden. Just I wouldn't say a rivalry, but you guys were just fighting hard and racing hard with each other, battling out for some wins in Watsonville.
Yeah, I mean we pretty. I don't know. We ended at Maine's there next time. I'm not sure how that happens, but yeah, it's cool racing against people like Bud. When I grew up, watching them going to like this weekend the Trophy Cup and just watching them go around there when I was little, it's definitely cool being able to race against them and seeing that I'm actually able to be competitive at that level.
And I'd never been to Ocean Speedway previously till this year, and watching some racing there and watching a lot of racing on Stars on Dirt TV, it seems like the initial start that's a major component of whether or not you're going to be in contention for a win. Starts are everything, and also restarts are everything at that place.
Yeah, definitely. Lately it's been pretty sticky there, and that makes starts even more of a big deal. If you don't get to start on a sticky track, you guys pretty much fall in line, follow the leader for the rest of the race. But there's a couple races there that this year that we raced. It was pretty slicked off. There was 2 lanes. You could run the top or the bottom, and it got pretty racy. But it being a small track, yeah, the starts definitely matter a lot.
Well, before we get into too much detail, how did everything kind of come about with you getting to start racing? What inspired you, and what were kind of what was your first sort of taste at operating a race car?
I started in junior sprints. Well, since I was little, my dad worked on sprint cars. He was Tommy Carlson's crew chief, so I've been around it my entire life. And then in 4th grade, and I was in 4th grade, I think I was about 9 years old, we got a junior sprint, and I started racing at Plaza Park in Lemoore. There's a track in Lemoore for the micros, and that's pretty much where it all started. And then I think 2 years, or the year after I started, we won the Tulsa Shootout in the junior sprint division, okay. And then from there it kind of took off. We went to restricted, then we went to the Super 600 Outlaws, and then now here we are racing 360s, getting into 410.
And how much of when you got in, I should say, when you went from micro sprints to a 360, was there much of how much of it was that a challenge? And what were some differences or what were some similarities that you came across when you finally got into a full-size sprint car?
The sprint cars, there definitely was a learning curve for me, but I think I'm still not going to say I've fully learned, but I think we definitely, the mechanics of racing and all that are kind of the same between the micros and the sprint cars, but the sprint cars, the wing definitely matters. I've found that the wing definitely matters a lot more, and you guys kind of got to keep the wing over you in the sprint car. In the micro, it's like a go-kart, and you can kind of still go a little bit if you don't have the wing speed, but in the sprint car, if you don't have the wing speed, definitely not doing much.
And you touched on something talking about last September. You were involved in a pretty nasty incident, but since then, as far as your body's okay, you're doing well. I mean, are you having to check in with doctors, or what has that process been like?
We're good now, but I think it's been a couple months now where I haven't had to go check on a doctor, see how they're healing, but I didn't have to have any grafts, and I think that played a major role in the healing process. So I still have scars, but they're not sensitive like they used to be, and they're kind of just there, honestly.
No doubt. And it's, I mean, obviously very, very a frightening situation, but it was also at the same time so good to see kind of your comrades in arms rushing to your aid, and of course the track safety crew trying to help you too.
Yeah, that was it was a little bit of an eye opener, but yeah. Good.
So Trophy Cup week is coming up. And for you guys have spent some time at Thunderbolt Raceway, and no doubt are looking to, I mean, as this year kind of wraps up, no doubt looking to kind of turn some heads, so to speak, for some of these big, quote-unquote, big hitters that'll be coming in for 3 nights of racing.
Yeah, this is definitely the biggest race that we're going to compete in this year. I like Tulare. I think it's probably my favorite track. Just the way it races and it flicks off, usually gets around the top. It's just so fun racing there. And I think we have a decent chance to at least make it to the A for Trophy Cup, and that is a pretty big feat for Trophy.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you can't win the show if you're not in the show, but being in the show is a big deal.
Yeah.
And I mean, gosh, I mean, just it's such a unique place. Obviously, last Saturday they had kind of the quote unquote Trophy Cup tune-up, and man, it was kind of a hammer down joint last Saturday night at the Thunderbolt.
Yeah, the track. I'd be, because usually Tulare doesn't get that sticky, and it was kind of swapped. Usually 1 and 2 are I find it's usually more slick in 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
and it ends up in 3 and 4. It might have been even more slick in 3 and 4 this time. It was different. It was definitely a learning curve into that night. I've never ran to area like that.
Yeah, and with the way some of the cautions came out when they came out, man, if you guys would have had a nonstop green flag run, I think lap traffic really would have been very, very tricky.
Traffic, but I could definitely see it becoming a problem for the leaders on that track. But there not really being different lines you can run. Everybody was kind of running the same line.
Well, and it was I'm sure it wasn't cool for you because you're trying to get to the front, but you and Cole Macedo, you guys' teams obviously work really, really close with each other, as well as when Gage Garcia's in the 21X, and to see you guys just battling each other hard, it's for me it was kind of cool to see that. I mean, you guys seem to be really close knit friends.
Yeah, we're definitely friends off the track, but we try to keep all of that out of consideration on the track. Everybody's equal on the track. You're all trying to race. We're all trying to win. We're not giving any brownie points for, I guess, knowing people when you're on the track, and that goes for pretty much all the drivers, I think.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. But I mean, now that you've kind of got a first full season in, where do you feel like you're at? Do you feel like, obviously everybody's got room improvement for growth, right? But do you feel like, and you kind of said it, I'm not an expert at the sprint car just quite yet, but now that you guys are transitioning into 410s, it feels like you got some solid ground underneath you, and you look, at least watching, you look very comfortable in the car.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like throughout the season, I've definitely, at this point, I'm pretty comfortable in 360, and I would be and confident in 360. But at this point, I think we're still learning in the 410. It's definitely a lot faster, and I'm still trying to get used to the entry speed and just kind of when to time everything. But next year, I think we're going to be racing a lot more 410 stuff if we can get motors. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's going to be the deal next year, because we're going to kind of do the same thing we did with 360s this year, is just learn and try to get better.
And where would you, I mean, obviously, our goals, we can set them as high as we want. What are some aspirations for you that you would like to do? I mean, would you like to have a, like a stint in the north, or not in the Northwest, but in the Midwest, maybe make a run at Knoxville, Kings Royal, anything of that nature, or eventually, if the stars align correctly, get lined up with something to where you are running running NARC full time or running a Midwest series full time?
Yeah, definitely. I think next year we're gonna keep focusing on local stuff and running more 410 stuff, and not sure what the plan is after that. But if we got an opportunity to race some series back east or kind of do some more traveling, I think I'd definitely take the opportunity to race, especially at a place like Knoxville. It's just such a cool experience.
No doubt, no doubt. I went there for the first time this year, and there isn't really anything that I can compare it to. It's just, and obviously, you're there for the Nationals, so you're there on some of the greatest days of racing on the planet. And man, it just the combination of the atmosphere, the competition, the breathtaking racing, it's simply amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
And I had a question for you. This kind of hones back to the whole micro sprint days. 121. What's the story there with? I mean, triple digits are kind of starting to become a common thing. What was the reasoning for you picking that number combination?
Yeah, so my dad working on Tommy's car when I was all little. Obviously, 21 was my favorite number coming into racing. But when I was getting in, there was way too many 21s, and pretty much all the I don't know what you call them, suffixes, the X, the T. All those have been kind of taken up. So, and at the time, like you said, the triple digit numbers weren't really a thing. It was like, well, we're just going to try and add a 1 in front of it. And when my dad, and when I was little, I raced like quads and dirt bikes and stuff. And my number in that was 05, because that's when I was born, or 121. So that's just kind of where it came from, was the 121, because I thought it was a pretty cool number, and I didn't see very many of them.
Yeah. I know that spending a lot of time in the IMCA world, there's a lot of guys from like the Bakersfield area that they triple digits. It seemed like for a while, out of 20 cars that would show up, 12 of them had triple digits. But you know, hey, tastes change, right? You know, some numbers get iconic, and there's people that feel like either there's too many people running it, or that's a number that only, like a Jackie Robinson thing, not like a retirement, but it's like, that does, like 43, Richard Petty, that's iconic with just that one guy kind of thing.
Yeah.
But so you're from Easton, and I mean, when you're not racing, not thinking of racing, what are some cool things to do around in your neck of the woods in the Central Valley?
Yeah. So Easton, there's not much cool stuff to do like around close to here, but I think we're like Easton Fresno area. It's cool because it's kind of in the middle of all the cool stuff, I guess you could say, because it's like 2 hours to the beach. It's like an hour to the mountains, or if you wanted to go down south, you could go like watch racing or ride or do something down there at like Glamis or Dumont.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go north and look at racing up north. That's another cool thing about where we are for racing is there's like sprint car racing. This is like our local tracks are obviously Hanford and Tulare, but then you could go up to Placerville and Chico and Watsonville and all those places, which aren't too terribly far.
Yeah. Well, and Disneyland's not that far either. That's probably only 4 hours, maybe 3.5.
Yeah, 4 or 5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt. Well, and Easton's on 41, right? Route 41.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I've had to go to the airport a time or two, and it's weird because it has me go, when I go down to like Hanford, it has me go down and then cut over like around Selma, and then come out basically 10th Avenue where the track's at. But when I have to go to the airport, it wants me to go to Lemoore off of 198 and then up through, and you see like the Tarleton and Son building there and everything.
Yeah. That's pretty much the turnoff for Easton is by the big black shop off the 41.
Yeah, general headquarters. Yeah. So anyways, that's the time that I've spent in Easton is driving right through it. But yeah. It's been super cool getting to know you, and it's been super cool to watch you race and do very well, like in these last few months, especially. People that you want to thank, and I know you mentioned some people before, and you're more than welcome to thank them again, and any sponsors that you want to thank.
People I definitely would like to thank my family, my mom, my dad, and my sister. They definitely they put up with me with my attitude sometimes with racing, and then them just being so supportive through it all, coming to all the races. I know it gets pretty hard for them, and people or sponsors wise, Tarleton Son is probably the biggest one throughout my whole racing career. Tommy's been super supportive. We definitely couldn't do it without him. We got Hutchinson Equipment, Electrical Power Source, Bandy and Associates. Some of the newer sponsors we have that are helping a lot and are definitely going to kind of boost our program next year is SenCal and Ardent Construction. They definitely are going to help a lot this year. And Western Metals is going to, I think they're going to help us out with the 410 next year too.
Awesome.
37 cars.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Yeah, Stan Greenberg. Yeah, they.
Yeah.
That's a potent ride. Steven Tyner was in it. Mitchell Facino had a lot of success in it as well, and Michael Pombo was in it a little bit this year too.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's cool. That's super cool. Well, and then for you, for when the 2024 schedule comes out, or any race results, or if you guys have an apparel run going, is there a good website or a good social media page that you guys have that folks can hunt that down?
Yeah, we're probably most active on our Twitter, and there's a link in our Instagram bio for most of the merch and stuff like that. So, yeah, probably Twitter is the best thing for racing updates and stuff like that, though.
Okay, awesome. Well, it's been great getting to know you. Obviously, best of luck for Trophy Cup. No doubt this is, I mean, do you feel like this is kind of a measuring stick for 2023 for you and your race team?
Yeah, it really is, because we tried to race it last year, and it was our plan until I got burned. I just wasn't physically able, so this will be our first trophy. I'm excited to see how we compare to some of the bigger names coming from back east.
No doubt. Well, I wish you the best of luck, Caeden. And again, it's been great to know you and become friends with you and your dad. And I wish nothing but the best, not just for this weekend, but for the rest of your 2023 season.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that is going to do it for this interview. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and hit the like and subscribe button on whatever platform you found this interview at. It really helps us grow the channel, and we greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, we'll be back with more content and interviews in the future. Be sure and have a great evening or a great rest of your day, whatever time you're listening.